but I digress. So anyway, a lot of you players out there, you want to get motivated. You want to grind. You want to do some fly things. You want to get your money right. You want to get your career on. You want to do something constructive. You want to step to that dime you've been wanting to step to. But you don't know how to motivate yourself. You don't know how to jumpstart your grind. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 10 quick tips on what you need to do to jumpstart your grind. Now, number one, what you need to do if you're trying to achieve anything, if you're trying to get your grind on, what you need to do is research what you're trying to achieve. You need to become knowledgeable of what you're trying to do. That's first and foremost. Because a lot of people start doing stuff or want to get into something and don't know the ins and outs of it. And if you don't know the ins and outs of it, you're going to be destined to fail. And then when you start failing, you're going to be looking down at yourself, which you should not. You just need to do more research about what you're trying to do. For example, let's say a person who says they want to get into real estate. And if you go try to buy some houses and flip them and you don't know the ins and outs of the game, you're going to get disappointed because you didn't take the time out to research the ins and outs of that part of the game. So always research what you want to achieve. That's number one. Now, number two, do not be afraid to fail. And that should be a given. But the thing is, a lot of people don't get on their grind. A lot of people are stagnant when it comes to getting their grind on because they're afraid that they're going to fail. You're afraid to spit at that female because you think you're going to get dissed. You're afraid to go to get that job because you're afraid that they're not going to hire you. You always, that fear of failure is the worst type of fear, because that stops a lot of folks from trying. So whatever you do, get the fear of failure out of your repertoire. Now, number three, stop comparing yourself to other people. A lot of us beat ourselves up because we see one of our peers doing something that we want to do. Or we see not even our peers, we just see somebody in a distance doing something that we want to do, and then we compare ourselves to it and we're like, damn, this person is doing this and I'm on this level. Fuck, what's wrong with me? In many cases, nothing is wrong with you, but these people have a different journey. Their journey is not going to be your journey. Sometimes you don't need to be at a certain level yet because your mind might not be ready for that level. Just like with this Jeff Carroll asshole that came to my lecture. This nigga's a bum ass because he's just not verbally and mentally ready to be on my level in the game. For example, I'm just using myself as an example, and there are a million examples. Just like a kid who wants to, if a kid looks at TV and sees LeBron James, he's like, shit, I can play ball. I can be the next LeBron James. But the thing is, he knows how to play ball, but he doesn't have the discipline to be a team player. So being the next LeBron might not be right for him at that moment. That's just a basic example. So just do not compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. Grow from where you were last time. Grow from where you were yesterday. Grow from where you were a year ago. Compare yourself to yourself. Now, number four, which is very important in jumpstarting your grind, you need to get a positive mind frame in the morning. At the beginning of every day, you need to get into a positive mind frame. And I always talk about this. A lot of people get into a negative mind frame because they get online. The first thing people do when they go to work or go to school or get in their car or wake up, they go online and they see some negative nonsense. They go see some bullshit on World Star. They go read some crazy nonsense on Media Takeout, which you should never do. And I've talked about this a million times on the show back in the day, and sometimes I still do this. Early in the morning, I get up and I make a point to put up a positive affirmation, just to send that positive energy out there. So always try to look for some type of positive affirmation, some type of positive energy at the beginning of the day. That has a real strong effect on the way your day goes. If you start off on a high note, that'll mellow everything out for the rest of the day. Very important. Trust me on that one. Now, number 5, you need to remember the things you were successful in. That's going to help you jumpstart your grind because it shows you and it reminds you that you have been successful in certain things before. A lot of people get into the failure groove. They get so used to failing, they expect failure all the time. But you have to start remembering there's some things that you were successful in. Everybody has had some type of success. I don't give a damn how bad luck of a person you may think you are. Everybody has had some form of success in some areas of life. So remind yourself of those successes and try to relive that. Figure out what you did to be successful and carry that on until your next thing you're trying to achieve. And I am being very general here because I want this to apply to different things. It can apply to relationships, education, job. It can apply to all types of people activity. Now, number 6, which is one of my favorites, you gotta take time or make time for complete silence in your life. It's very important that you get some quiet time. And I talked about this before. See, the only time a lot of people get any kind of quiet time is when they're asleep. And you need quiet time without the sleep. You need quiet time to think. A lot of times, man, people can't really get their think on because they have all this crazy stuff going on around their homes, around their family. There's always some kind of commotion. And you never have a chance to really think out certain things. Being in silence and thinking is a very powerful thing. You got to get away from the music for a minute. You got to turn the TV on mute for a minute and get into yourself and reflect. Some people call it meditating. I just call it thinking. So you got to make some quiet time for yourself to think. Now, number 7, what you need to do is block out all types of media scare tactics. Because the media will scare you. The media is designed to scare people. And when you're scared, you are debilitated. And that stops you from your hustling. That stops you from your grind. You look at TV, they scare the hell out of you. Don't go outside, you get raped. Don't go out of the country, there's war. Don't go over here, they're going to get you. Don't go over there because they have smallpox. Don't go over there because they got bird flu. Don't do this, stay where you are. It's that type of scare tactic that they use to keep you debilitated. Don't go for that, don't fall for that. Understand it what it is and understand it for what it is and play past that and go do you. And go get what you need to get and go hustle up on what you need to hustle up on. Now, number 8. Think of doing things in a way that other people have not thought of. A lot of times, man, what you do, people will follow the same broken patterns that other people have failed in. You see people who have not really achieved anything and you're following their patterns. Or even people who have achieved certain things. Just because people have achieved certain things, that doesn't mean you have to do it. Which you can do it, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. That's not the only way. You can think outside of the box and try things a different way. Try things that work for you. You can reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So try to think of things in a way that other people have not thought of. Now, number 9, do not pile too much on when it comes to getting your grind on. A lot of people will create 100 goals at once. And if you do that, that's going to debilitate you because you're going to look at it like, oh my God, I got a whole lot to do. Then you're going to really start procrastinating. So what you do, you start small. Start with 2 or 3 goals, knock those out. Add on 4 or 5 more, knock those out. Don't pile on too much to the point where it will scare you from doing it. Take it one bit at a time. And the last and final one, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to jumpstart your grind, what you need to do is write down every detail of your plan. Now that sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do that. For example, if you want to buy a car, if you say, well, my goal is to buy me a new car, what you need to do is write down how the hell you're going to do it. Because a lot of people will start wishing and praying. But if you just sit up and plan it out, you can make it happen. You can say, look, this is what I'm going to do. Every paycheck, I'm going to save $50. I'm going to save that shit up for about 6 months. Then on the side, I'm going to sell these little sacks. Then I'm going to cut grass. I'm going to donate blood every weekend. You just write everything out, plan it out, execute it, and you'll get your new ride. Even if you want to start a business, say, look, I want to start a catering business. You write down everything you need to do to start it. Don't wish, don't hope, don't pray. Just say, look, every week I'm going to save my little money, save this amount, X amount, X amount, X amount. Then I'm going to go find a facility. I'm going to rent it out for $1,000 a month. Then I'm going to go down to Home Depot, hire me some illegal day laborers to paint it. I mean, you can just write all this shit out and execute it, and you'll be surprised how you will get stuff done just by planning it. People don't plan stuff, surprisingly, but they wish for things to pop off. If you plan some shit, it will get knocked out. Trust me on that one.